Hey guys, Darth Gloric here, back with part 1 of my brand new playthrough. We are playing The Legend of Zelda, The Breath of the Wild. So, very, very cool to be back on a Legend of Zelda game. It's a crime, is what it is. But the only game of Legend of Zelda we have on my channel is Twilight Princess. And that's it. And it's just not right, I tell you. So we're back on another Legend of Zelda. This is gonna be a slow burn because this is a big game, and I'm not gonna beeline my way through it, as you no doubt are not surprised by. But I'm not gonna speed through it. Gonna play this like I play everything, which is normally at my own pace. So obviously we're not on the Switch 2 version, by the way, just in case anyone was curious. I don't own a Switch 2, and I honestly don't have much plans on getting one, because I don't really care. There's two consoles come out too fast these days as it is anyway, and I just refuse to be a part of it. Anyway, the other thing you need to know, this one doesn't matter a whole lot, but I have... The voice languages are all on Japanese. And I'll tell you why. It's because I don't like Zelda's voice in the English version. I have nothing against the voice actress, like as a person. I don't like it. Doesn't like I'm not floored or anything by it, but I don't like her voice as Zelda. I'm sure if you gave her another character, I'm sure it'd be fine. But I just don't. She just doesn't sound like Zelda to me, and so I don't like her as Zelda. And so we have it on Japanese. Which is way better for me because, in my opinion, it sounds way better. One of the reasons why is because there's some flashback sequences, which we'll see, because we're definitely going to grab all of the memories. That's very, very likely to happen in this playthrough, because it's one of my favorite things. I lost my train of thought. So in several memories, there's some very big emotional moments, right? The memories are very crucial to figuring out the story and what's happening and all that stuff. So, and one of them is very tragic. A lot of very dark, very sad, very intense things have happened. And the difference in the scene between like the English voice actress and the Japanese one is night and day. It's worlds different. The English voice actress sounds like that you're a little annoyed, like or maybe a little upset, but like it's not, you'll be okay. It'll be fine. Like, like you're upset, but your world's not rocked, but it doesn't make sense because you're like, but her whole world just ended. Like, why is she so just sort of like, well, that sucks, but whatever. Like, she's just very not bothered in comparison to what I think she should be. And then you get to the Japanese one, and the voice actress sounds like her world ended too. It like rips your soul out. Like, and that's the way it should be. Like, it's supposed to be sad. It's supposed to be very intense, and just the emotional difference between the two is massively different. So, so I always play with the Japanese voices. And at some point we will get to Tears of the Kingdom, and we'll do the Japanese voices on that one too. So, anyway, I think that's basically the whole show. I do own the fancy DLC stuff. I don't remember exactly what all of it entails, but I do own all of this stuff. So Champion's Ballad, a new challenge related to the champions. When you completed the main quest to free all 4 divine beasts, return to the Shrine of Resurrection and inspect the terminal you first found the Sheikah Slate. Okay, so I don't exactly recall what all of that is, but I do have all the fancy stuff. So all the fancy armors and all that is hidden around the world, and so I do have all of that. Trial of the Sword, Master Mode, Hero's Path mode, which is kind of interesting. A feature that lets you use the map to view the path you've taken on your journey footstep by footstep. Once you've advanced far enough in the game, this option will be added when you open your map. You can save around 200 hours of gameplay this way. If you exceed this amount of play data, the oldest footsteps will be erased as new ones are added. That's interesting. Travel medallion. Place it at your current location and you'll be able to travel there instantly. There is apparently a book containing rumors about the travel medallion. The Korok mask. Misko's treasure. Okay, anyway, so yeah, we do have all that stuff. So anyway, let's just get to it, man. Let's just get to it. I'm ready. It'll be really sick having another Legend of Zelda back on the channel, because that'll be cool. We're going to be doing this the rest of my natural life, but don't worry about that, because if I'm having fun, it doesn't matter how long it takes. So, that's what matters. Hopefully I'm not dog water at this game, because in general, I'm not amazing at it, which also probably doesn't shock you. It's probably also not very surprising. I'm gonna need to turn this game up, I think. Alright. Welcome to Legend of Zelda. We just woke up in this spooky place. Oh, sick, a phone. I mean, a Sheikah slate. Oh my gosh. The difference. The difference in voice actors is so good. It's so wild. Like, I don't know, man. I really don't like the English voice actor. For Zelda, I really don't like it in English. It's just so, I don't know, I find it really annoying. It's not her. I just don't like it. It's just not Zelda. And so, listening to the Japanese one, it's like a massage on the ears. Like, it's so good. It's just, I feel so at peace. Anyway, I'm gonna try not to harp on about that, because if some people like it, that's great, but I can't stand it. The Sheikah Slate, a mysterious tablet with a glowing center. You've never seen this device before, and yet there's something familiar about it. Sick. Alright, well. Let's make sure we, check this stuff out. Not that I'm really expecting there to be too much good stuff. I mean, there'll be some useful things in here, I'll already tell you. Well-worn trousers. These old trousers are threadbare in spots, but they're surprisingly comfortable. The legs are a bit too short, though. Open inventory with plus. Alright, there we go. We got some pants. Sick. A thin shirt made long ago. It's coming apart at the seams, but it's better than nothing. The sleeves are a bit on the short side. That's something. I'm not actually expecting anything in the old barrels, but don't worry about that. Thank you. Authenticating. Sheikah Slate confirmed. Like, oh, he's cool. He's in the cool crowd. He can go. Ho ho. Let's go. Alright. Don't worry, Zelda. I'm coming. Hup. Oh, sorry. Oh, we're on Switch, not Xbox. I'll get used to it. Hopefully. We're on Switch. Everything's reversed. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. It cracks me up how far behind I am in games on my channel. Because no matter what comes out, no matter what new thing is happening in the gaming world... hang on, let's pause that in case we get talked to really quick. Old man. And a church. Okay, no, we're good. Anyway, it cracks me up that no matter what's going on in the gaming world, in the gaming sphere, you know, whatever's new and exciting. Got a tree branch. Anyway. Switch weapons quickly. Oh, look at that. Anyway. But, no matter what happens, that I am always behind. Like, my channel always does the same stuff that I always do, you know what I mean? It's like, whatever I'm gonna do next, and like, whatever's new has no bearing on whatever it is I'm choosing for fun. Like, you know, like in this case, like, we just started Breath of the Wild. I think this came out in, like, what, 2017? Like, I think I saw on the main screen that it said it was from 2017. So it just cracks me up, because, you know, the Switch 2 comes out, and all of the, you know, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, they get remade, and I think graphically, I would assume they're better, although they work amazing for, gotcha. Anyway, they look amazing considering how you know, it's on the original Switch, and the first Switch is a little underpowered, and you know, it's funny that just how, I don't know, it looks really good, but that you know, Switch 2 comes out, and I saw someone put in Pokemon, what was it, like Scarlet and Violet or whatever, and they showed that the windmill, you know, you know the one, and it's like single digit frames as the windmill's moving, and it looks so bad. And honestly, Scarlet and Violet both look like dog water. Like they just look so bad. Anyway, but I saw someone on the Switch 2 put it in, and they showed the windmill, like, at a distance, moving normally. And I was like, oh my gosh, look at that. They did it. Anyway, but, I don't know. It's funny that on this channel, we do things at my own pace, you know? On my channel, I just do things however I want to do them, and I don't really care what's out and what's new and exciting, you know? Like, we recently, at the time of recording this, Cyberpunk very recently ended on my channel. And, mid-air. Yes? Gotcha. Okay. There's the map. Anyway. Brother. Ugh. Hang on, we're struggling. There we go. I was about to say, I know there's apples in here. Give them to me. I don't know if there's too many more than that. Yeah. Anyway, but it just cracks me up that I'm always doing my own thing on my own pace, and whatever's new and exciting has no bearing on whatever I'm doing. Hi. Ho-ho, well met, stranger. It's rather unusual to see another soul in these parts. Who are you? Me? I'll spare you my life story. I'm just an old fool who lives here alone for quite some time now. What brings a bright-eyed young man like you to a place like this? Where are we? Answering a question with a question. Fair enough. As I cannot imagine our meeting to be a simple coincidence, I shall tell you. This is the Great Plateau. According to legend, this is the birthplace of the entire kingdom of Hyrule. That temple there. Long ago, it was the site of many sacred ceremonies. Ever since the decline of the kingdom 100 years ago, it has sat abandoned in a state of decay. Yet another forgotten entity, a mere ghost of its former self. I shall be here for some time. Please let me know if I may be of service. Thanks, man. I beg your pardon. I do believe that is my baked apple. You can't just go about taking whatever you please. Forgive me. I could not resist pulling your leg. Please help yourself. An apple and an open flame make for a succulent treat. I knew he wouldn't care. That's why I grabbed it. It's a torch. Sick. Well then, just help yourself to that torch there. And how, may I ask, are you planning to use it? To set things on fire. That is rather unnerving. Please be cautious with that around any dry grass that might catch fire. You know, there are plenty of monsters in this area. That torch would make a good weapon if need be. However, do not just swing it around without purpose. You must face your opponents and lock your sights on them. Got it. Anyway. Thanks, bro. We're moving on. Uh-huh. A woodcutter's axe. Sick. Anything else I can reach? Sick. Looking for supplies? So one of the fun things, obviously, is about Breath of the Wild is... So, let me back up. One of the things I like about Zeldas, in my opinion, all the best Zeldas, like, for instance, my favorite Zelda is Twilight Princess. It said, oh, there we go. There was a second acorn. Look at that. And a third one. Anyway, one of my favorite Zelda is Twilight Princess. One of the reasons I like Twilight Princess so much is because it felt very mature. It felt much older. Generally speaking, I'm not a big fan of the cartoony, E-for-everyone-esque stuff of Legend of Zelda. I think the best ones are when they're being a little bit more mature than that. Like, I think Twilight Princess is so good is because it's T for teen. And so they were able to be a little darker with it. Like, some, darker things happen. Like, it's still like it's an amazing story, and it's a lot of fun, but like I liked it so much because it felt more mature and it didn't feel kiddified. And one of the things I don't like is when you're watching something or playing something and it feels like they watered it down for the audience. And so you're like, well, this would be good, but they're not allowed to kill anybody because this is a Disney movie or whatever. And so you're like, no one's allowed to die, even if though it's way more realistic. So I hate that feeling. And Twilight Princess was so good because it felt mature. Darker things happened. So I think one of the reasons that this game and Tears of the Kingdom are so good is because dark things happen. Like it definitely has that mature vibe of a story. And I really, really like that. And I think that's one of the reasons why this game is so good. And overall, I think this is going to be a very fun playthrough. I have beaten this game at least once, maybe twice. I feel like, once, maybe twice. But so I've beaten it definitely all the way through at least one time. And I also beat Tears of the Kingdom. So we're not going in blind by any means. So one of the things I enjoy the scavenging and finding materials and all this stuff and exploring and just finding all the cool things. That part of it I really enjoy. I don't often love how in the combat there's so much running away because so many materials are like, it's all about scavenging. It makes you feel like you're playing a battle royale with all the scavenging you're doing, which honestly, that part of it's kind of enjoyable. Like I actually enjoy that part. But because of it, it's every engagement has a cost, like, I don't know, like a cost basis, right? You're always going to gauge everything on, okay, well, is this useful? Is this worth it? Like, so every fight you do, you're going to be measuring, like, let's see, how many materials am I going to spend to get this kill? Like, I feel like you spend a lot of time running away. And so one of the downsides of it is there's a lot of fights you don't have to do and you can just run away. I mean, the only reason to do a fight is you're like, well, is the loot I'm going to get going to be worth it? Or can I get away from this guy reasonably? Or whatever. Is there an easy kill and I can get the loot for it or whatever? And so often I feel like I spend a lot of time running away, and so which doesn't make you feel like a hero. You're like, I'm supposed to be Link, I'm supposed to be the hero, and I just run from every engagement. So it's kind of like a cost. It's like pros and cons. It's pros and cons, and so that's definitely a con. Sorry, wrong button. I think it was, there we go. That's what I meant to do. Anyway, what I was trying to do was do that backflip thing right as I got to him, but I kind of choked. I got a horn. I don't really feel like we're gonna get this guy. Yeah, I told you. Now I have your club. Alright. I don't really want to waste my good club, you know. So the other thing that I meant to mention is I have a map, a interactive map open on my computer screen. So we'll be playing this entire game with a map, because of course there is a lot of things. I keep doing that thing. Anyway, aha. Anyway, there's a lot. This map is very big, and there's lots of loot. And of course, by memory, I don't remember where things are. So we're playing this game with an interactive map open. So just so you're aware that I'm going to be looking at it quite a bit. And generally speaking, I imagine that'll be normal. Wow, that went a long way and didn't break. Anyway, so I can look over and look for treasure chests or, you know, clothes, for instance. And there's some clothes and things that we are definitely going to need. So this is definitely an improvement. These pants are obviously just better. So, and one of the things that I noticed a lot with watching people play this game, because I haven't watched a whole lot of people play like Legend of Zelda stuff, but I haven't watched a whole lot. But I've seen highlights of like the Game Grumps and stuff play. And you know, things like that. And overall, I feel like one of the things that is different that I just, because I'm just a different kind of person, I guess. And my channel's a very different kind of beast, because I don't make any money, obviously, off of doing YouTube. And so I just do it for fun, just like I've done it for, you know, years and years. I just do it because I just find it fun. And it's good for your mental health to, you know, make things and, you know, have something to work on, something to focus on, and, you know, all the good stuff. No, I got your club. Anyway, but a lot of other YouTubers and content creators, they go through stuff very quickly. And so they'll like, you know, they'll like do fights before they're ready, and then they get annihilated, and then they have to come back, and I don't know. Like, that happened a lot in the Game Grumps playthrough. As I was watching highlights of this and Tears of the Kingdom, I noticed that, of course, they run into things that they're not really prepared for, because they're trying to do it quickly, right? I mean, anything, it's about doing it quickly, right? So a lot of it is just based upon views and interest and such things. And obviously, views is nice. I love getting views on my stuff and everything. But you know, my priority is, of course, not the interaction even. Like, you know, my content was basically the same when I had, like, no views of any kind on any of my gaming stuff. And that was exactly the same versus how it is now, which is, you know, my content looks pretty much identical, regardless of the views I'm getting or not getting. So, I don't know. I think just because it's different, because on mine it's a hobby, you know. Look at that, we got a bow. Anyway, and so on mine, obviously it's a hobby, and so because it's a hobby, and I don't care about, you know, the views and the interaction is not how I judge on whether I want to play something. It means that I can just do stuff. So if I'm just having fun and if I want to play, I can just play, and it doesn't really matter what views I'm getting or not getting. So, I don't know. It makes it different. It makes it nice because I can play it the way I normally play it, which is being too prepared for any given fight that I'm doing, generally speaking. And I can over prepare, and then we can do it, and then it's fine. So, the goddess statue smiles upon you. Anyway, so these statues, there's shrines throughout the world that you'll do. They'll give you a nifty little thing. And I like an orb or something. I forget what it's called. And they'll get you like a little orb or something. And when you get 4, you can go to that statue. And then there's a few other statues throughout the world. And you can turn them in for good stuff. So for either health or stamina increases. So we don't obviously have any shrines done because they have not introduced that to us yet. But soon enough. We did just go down there, didn't we? Because we were down on the other side, so there's no way I wouldn't have explored that. I feel like I must have just done that. Although we're going to be right past, so even if I didn't do it a second ago, we're about to do it. Yeah, okay, yeah. I already remembered that, so. Anyways, we're going to work basically towards our objective. Oops. Anyway, it's a little confusing, of course, because normally I'm an Xbox guy, so normally I'm playing Xbox, not Switch, and so when I hop on my Switch and my controls are all backwards, it, you know, makes things complicated for the old control scheme. Anyway, I imagine this is going to be one of those games that has a lot of cuts, because of course, you know, open world, and you know, generally speaking, on navigation in this world, it's very likely that I will, wrong button, sorry. And it's very likely that I will use teleport, but generally speaking, in most open world games I play, I don't use fast travel. So, like you'll probably notice in my Cyberpunk playthrough that I didn't fast travel. Ooh, watch this. This'll be funny. Assuming I hit them, which, maybe. Oh. Obviously, they placed those rocks there on purpose. They knew what you were going to do, but it was still satisfying. Anyway, but this is one of those games that I will be using fast travel. But, all the same, it's still, you know... Either way, there'll still be a big chunk of things that gets cut. This will be one of those games that has a lot of cuts. And we're going to be doing lots of exploring, so, you know... We'll be doing lots and lots of exploring, because in any game I play, as anyone that has seen me do anything can testify to you, is I am an over-preparer, so I prepare too much when you don't have to prepare that much. Down, boy. Ooh. My first shield. Sick. Anyway. Oh, he had some arrows, too. Obviously, we're not going to use that really good thing right away. That really good sword. Alright, hold that thought. Although, we can try to do this. Sneaking sometimes can be great, because you can get the drop on somebody, right? But I think the jump forward is silent, I think. Which is good, because sneaking is otherwise very slow. If I can just get one of them. I'm not dumb enough to think I can get two. Look at that. Anyway. Okay, that's good. For the most part, in this early game, we're still just focusing on our objectives for the most part. It's too early to have to worry about things, generally speaking. Put it on the thing, bro. It'll be great. Sheikah Tower activated. Please watch for falling rocks. I'm like, uh-oh. Aww. We activated all the towers. Now they're all going up. Sick. There you go. I'm like, whoa. That was crazy. I imagine that any survivors that are here probably saw that. I imagine quite a few people noticed all these towers rocketing up out of the ground. Distilling local information. Boop. And now it's going to clear the fog on this part of the map. Sick. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Regional map extracted. Alright. Look at that. We have some information. I'm like, oh. It's been 100 years that I've been asleep. Don't worry, my love. I will come save you. Don't even worry about it. I will save you. Follow the Sheikah Slate. Complete it. Alright, now we have some good views. Sick. Alright, so now we have discovered stuff, which is great. So I suppose we will work our way down here. We have to be careful because we don't have... Well, maybe I won't spoil it, but we don't have any way of descending easily other than this. So luckily this first one, they're real close together so that you can do this. Obviously. I'm like, what? Hi. My. It would seem we have quite the enigma here. This tower and others just like it have erupted across the land, one after another. It is almost as though a long-dormant power has awoken quite suddenly. If you do not mind me asking, did anything odd occur while you were atop that tower? I heard a voice. Well now, a voice you say? And did you happen to recognize this mysterious voice? Say nothing. It seems I have some work to do as far as earning your trust goes. I suppose that is understandable. I'm like, well, I don't want to say no, because I do know that voice. I assume you caught sight of that atrocity enshrouding the castle? That is Calamity Ganon. 100 years ago, that vile entity brought the kingdom of Hyrule to ruin. It appeared suddenly and destroyed everything in its path. So many innocent lives were lost in its wake. Yeah, I wouldn't see that on one of those kiddified Zeldas, I tell you that. Anyway, for a century, the very symbol of our kingdom, Hyrule Castle, has managed to contain that evil, but just barely. There it festers, building its strength for the moment it will unleash its blight upon the land once again. It would appear that moment is fast approaching. I must ask you, courageous one, do you intend to make your way to the castle? I do. I had a feeling you would say that. Here, on this isolated plateau, we are surrounded on all sides by steep cliffs with no way down. If you were to try to jump off, well, no death would be more certain or more foolish. Of course, if you had a paraglider like mine, that would be quite another story. Paraglider? Ho-ho, piqued your interest, have I? Yes, I didn't come soaring down here on my own feathery wings, you know. Worry not, I will happily agree to give you my paraglider, but not for nothing. Let's see now. How about I trade it for a bit of treasure that slumbers nearby? The Isolated Plateau. Main quest. Open the adventure log. After your descent from the tower, the old man told you the kingdom of Hyrule was destroyed 100 years ago by Calamity Ganon. You heard a voice coming from Hyrule Castle, but you cannot reach it unless you have you leave the plateau using the paraglider. The old man said that he will give you the paraglider in exchange for treasure that lies with a hidden location somewhere. Come, let me show you something. Lead the way. I mean, well, you know, we're not going far. We're going right here to look at that. Obviously. You are very tall. Has anyone ever told you that? Do you see that structure there? The one shining with a strange light? It began glowing at the exact moment those towers rose up from the ground. I'm like, you don't say. I would think such a place might house some sort of treasure, wouldn't you? Treasure for the paraglider. A fair exchange, I believe. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's go. We gotta get that treasure. Because that's the deal. So, I mean, you know, this game has been out for like 8 years or whatever. So, I will tell you, okay, I feel like I've done this before, so I feel like I'm not explaining anything. For like the 2.5 of you that have never played this game. So these old-looking statues. Well, they're not all that. They didn't used to be statues. They're called guardians. And guardians are basically robots, as you would no doubt assume. And they're all over Hyrule. There's a lore thing. They will explain what guardians are and all that jazz. Now, guardian, like these like old ones, these like really broken ones, most of them, a lot of them, a fair amount of them, will contain treasure, as you've seen me running around grabbing them. We might need that treasure later. I think we are going to need some amount of it later. A lot of it we're not going to need because I don't know. There is a fair amount of it we're going to need. And of course, I'm a hoarder, so of course I'm going to grab it. So there's a lot of these are broken. Some of these, well, actually, I can already tell you that there is one that's alive. So never mind. You're gonna see what happens. But some of them are alive. Now, some of them are moving, like their legs are working. Those ones are really freaking scary. For the most part, we'll just avoid them this entire playthrough, and I will probably rarely fight one. In the past, I have only ever killed across the times I've done this game, and there's at least once all the way through, but I've started it several times, so I've done this game a lot. And for the most part, I just avoid these things because fighting them sucks. Fighting them is the worst. So for the most part, I just avoid them. But there's going to be sometimes I might just have to deal with one. The mobile ones are the worst, but some of them are stuck in the ground, and they're like turrets, basically. And they're very scary. They shoot a laser at you. The laser hits, hits you really hard, and it hurts a lot. And so it's something to be aware of. There's one that I absolutely can think of that's alive over here, which is actually not far from here. It might be, it might be over there, or maybe it's farther up, but it's along this coast somewhere. So one of these is alive. I know where it is. I think most of them, it might be the only one that's alive on the plateau. The turret ones are not as bad. They're not as bad. Because they are, of course, stationary. Now, there are lots of live turret ones. I will show you a cute little hack that we can do much later in the game that will be an easy way to tell if they're alive or not. In the beginning, for a while here, we're just gonna have to do it from memory. Another thing, you see this EX chest, obviously. EX is, so this is an extra thing. This is a DLC thing. So if you have the DLC add-on stuff, these chests, there's quite a few of them dotted all over Hyrule, and this is extra gear, so... Or sometimes extra materials, like this one, it's, I think, a load of materials, yeah. It gave you a ruby thing, which is very useful, so... You'll see why later. One use is you can use them for money. It can be a really good way to make a whole bunch of money. You also can use them, I believe you can use them for maybe some recipes, and I think you can maybe, not like enchant, but I think you can do something with weapons for them. I don't know. There's kind of a variety of things, but... You'll get a fair amount of those. They are really good. If you need money, and there's going to be times in the game where you need money, if you have a lot of extras, you can sell them. I, generally speaking, avoid selling them because they have other uses, and like I said, I'm a hoarder. And so, we'll see. But there's going to be times we might have to sell them, because if you have a plethora of extras, it can be a fine way to make a whole bunch of money. So... And there's lots of little, like nodes, or, I don't know, there's, you can mine them, and the mining caches, or whatever they're called, throughout the world, they do respawn after a certain amount of time, and so technically they're a farmable resource. Anyway, to you who sets foot in the shrine, I am Oman Ao, in the name of the goddess Hylia, something about a trial. Magnesis trial. Which is all well and good, but of course we can't do anything here, because we don't have any powers, so... Oh no, we can't do it. Anyway, I guess we'll leave. Okay, this just in. I might be an idiot. There's this little thing right here, and my brain didn't think about it. I don't know. Yeah, so I think I actually just might be a moron, so that's rough. I always suspected, but... I always suspected that I might be a moron, but... The sad truth is, unfortunately, I am. Alright, on the map, let me find where we are. Yeah, okay. We are right here. Alright, I have found where we are on the map, guys. Sick. Anyway. Alright, rune extracted. I'll show you what it all means. Don't worry about it. Select your rune. Okay, so there is powers in this game that you can use your little Sheikah Slate for. This one is, I believe, called Magnesis. Yeah. Magnesis is, you know, magnets. And it's all, you know, that's how it works. So you can grab metal things, and you can obviously see them because they're lit up in pink. You know, or, yeah, pink. Anyway, so that's how you know. Anyway. It's good stuff. Also, they often will hide chests and things underwater, and which is easy to see them, of course, because of the whole magnesis thing. So, you know, and there'll be a lot of very useful things we can do with this stuff. These trials often also have some amount of treasure chests hidden nearby, and so I don't know why that other one's an option, but. Anyway, but yeah, they often have a fair amount of treasure nearby, so. And so often you can get other treasure chests. So keep your eyes peeled for good loot. That was a little baby guardian. That was just like a little teeny one. Nothing unusual there. Oh, do you think, hang on. You think maybe this is why? Hang on, what if we did this? I can shove this over. Because I can climb these ones. No, that is not why. Well, that was a good guess. You don't think anything's underwater, do you? I don't think so, Tim. I'm just keeping my eyes peeled because these shrines often will have some level of treasure chests nearby. You have to watch the power, too, because there's a fair chance you're going to conk yourself in the head with it. So, it's a risk. You might, like, move an object and it gets a little too much momentum and then hits you in the face. So, and then you take some health damage, which is a stupid way to lose health by hitting yourself with your own power. So, and sometimes in some shrines there's a chest hidden behind the shrine. Like I feel like I remembered that from at least one shrine, that if you like walk up to the shrine, but if you walk around the right side, there's like a little chest back there. And loot is very important in this game. So, looting is very importante. Obviously. Yay. You have proven to possess the resolve of a true hero. Thank you, mummified person. I am Oman Ao, the creator of this trial. I am a humble monk blessed with the sight of Goddess Hylia, and dedicated to helping those who seek to defeat Ganon. With your arrival, my duty is now fulfilled. In the name of Goddess Hylia, allow me to bestow this gift upon you. Please accept this spirit orb. That's what it's called, spirit orb. That's the ticket. My first shrine, and certainly not my last. There's like 150,000 shrines in this game. Spirit orb, the symbol of courage given to those who have overcome the challenges of a shrine. Sick. And it restored my heart. May the goddess smile upon you. Thanks, monk. And then they disappear. They can move on to the afterlife or whatever it is they're doing. Probably won't read those. Now that they all say something very similar. Most of them are much shorter than that. That was your introduction one. So that one's explaining who this like monk is and like why they help you. So, you know, in the future, probably won't read those. We'll just, you know, get past it. But wanted to read the first one. It seems you managed to get your hands on a spirit orb. Well done. How did you know? Clairvoyance? Or perhaps just something similar. As one gets older, it can become more difficult to see what is right before one's own eyes. However, that which was once hidden from view can often be crystal clear. But perhaps that is not true for everyone. Ho ho! The appearance of those towers and awakening of this shrine. It is all connected to that Sheikah slate you carry on your hip there. What do you mean? It has been quite some time since I have seen that Sheikah slate. Long ago, a highly advanced tribe known as the Sheikah inhabited these lands. The great power of their wisdom saved this kingdom time and time again. but their ancient technology disappeared long ago, or so it is said. It is interesting, however, to think how something like that survived all this time, hidden away in a shrine. These shrines are tucked away in numerous places all across this land. On this plateau alone, I believe there are still 3 more. Bring me the treasure from each of those shrines, and I will give you my paraglider. That wasn't the deal. Oh? Well, I suppose I changed my mind. I'm sure that won't be a problem for a young go-getter like you. Since I'm feeling generous, I will also teach you a trick for finding shrines. It's always best to survey the area from looking around from a high point. Let's see here. How about you make your way up to the top of that tower again? Are you joking? Ho ho ho, I am afraid not. But do not worry, I have another little trick to share with you for your effort. Take a look at the map on the Sheikah slate. Like, okay. You see those blue icons? You should recognize that cave when you could recognize the cave where you woke, the shrine you came from, and the tower. I'm like, okay, I see it. You can travel instantly to any of those places with the Sheikah slate. I'm like, really? Or so I heard quite some time ago. I do not know if it actually works as such. Interesting. Let's go, fast travel. Oh. I think I saw something on the map appear about the hero path mode. Which I believe it shows you where you've been, I think. Yeah, like he's already up here. I think he mentions it too. I think it's, you know. What? Hero's path mode unlocked. Press X on the map to see your journey thus far. There you go, see? Change speed, back, forward, icon display, pause, cancel, play. This is what you did. Get it? There you go. This is where you've been so far. Uh-huh. Gotcha. Well, it's all very interesting, but like, cool. There you go. Was that enlightening or what? I don't get the point. Like who cares? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. I'm surprised it took you so long to catch up with an old man like me. How did you... Ho, leave an old man his secrets. Now then, I wanted you to join me up here so you could use this as a vantage point to search for shrines. Do you know about the scope on your Sheikah slate? Look through it, and you can stick a pin anywhere you'd like to mark on the map. Yeah, it's actually great, like, honestly. Scope and pins. The pins in your map serve as reference points for your travels. Just stick a pin anywhere you're interested in. How do you know? Experience, wisdom, instinct. Call it what you will and believe it only if you so please. Go ahead, take a look at it if you feel inclined to do so. Oh, I will, old man. Oops, sorry. Oops, sorry. Here it is. Okay, so you can see those bottom little icons there? That's the number of pins I am allowed to put down, so... Alright, but... So you can highlight it, like, look at it close as possible, then you can drop a pin, and you can see in the mini-map, we'll scroll way over, and then you can close it, and now, when I open the map, it will be right where I pinned, see? Very neato. It's very convenient, like no kidding, it's very, very convenient. And then we'll put another one over there. Okay. And the third one... It's those... Ah, there it is. Okay, fun fact, the turret guardian is over here. It's like near... It's in the ruins. I don't remember if it's that one. I think it might be this one. Anyway, but yeah, there you go. So that's how it all works. Having trouble finding the shrines? No. Oh, if you still wish to acquire the paraglider, you must put in the effort. I will not simply give it away, you see. Anyway, that's how it works. I'm so tempted just to yeet myself down there, but I'm not going to. Because of course I'll die because I don't have a paraglider. I don't have a paraglider. That's the reason I'm still on this plateau. Not that it matters, of course, because there's lots of good loot on this plateau, and I'm not just gonna, you know, forsake it because we need loot, obviously. So let's go to the yellow one first, because it was, I think, the next nearest one, possibly. It's so habit to see like any little jump, like, you know, jump and then hit your paraglider. Like, it's so habit to just like constantly spam it like that, you know. at any opportunity you can. But obviously not necessarily wise. Little detour. You want to check out this skull? There's a whole bunch of little orc dudes inside. I always call them orcs because they I don't know, that's like so exactly what they are, you know what I mean? But they're bokoblins in this game. I don't have any fires or any powers, so I can't do what I normally do. Because a lot of these little things, they have bombs. They have like those explosive barrels in there. A lot of them do. So, but I have a theory. Yup. Let's say that torch is a little obvious. Yeah, not quite. Let's just, hey man, what up? I'm just trying to figure out how to get to you. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. I figured it out. I'll take your bow. Anyway, let's see. So, fun fact, the very last hit, as that little tooltip mentioned, the very last hit on your weapon before it breaks is a critical hit. It'll deal ×2 damage. So a lot of the time when it says your weapon's about to break, that means it's very close. Like one more hit, maybe like I think it's maybe less, something like that. But when it gives you the warning that your weapon's very badly damaged and it's gonna break, it's more cost effective to throw the weapon at an enemy right when it gives you that message. At that particular moment, I was too close to him. That's the reason I didn't do it then. But generally speaking, you'll see me throw it after it gives you the warning, is because I think the throw deals a lot more damage and it's a crit, I believe. And so it often is more cost effective to throw the weapon when when it's almost broken. So that's the reason you'll see me do that a lot. An eyeball from a bat. That's what that is. A wing from a bat. Sorry, I keep doing that. See? Spiked club, by the way. Generally speaking, I use the lowest, like the worst, whatever the worst stuff I'm carrying is. Bokoblin guts. Anyway. But yeah, generally speaking, I use the worst stuff. Oh, there's another club. It's on fire, so its durability's probably not very good, but anyway. Whoop, I did it again. I keep hitting the bottom one thinking it's going to be the jump button, and it's really not. Fire arrow. That's cool. So yeah, you can switch arrow types, so let me show you. If you do this, and then you hit this, now you can go, oh, cool. And so while the bow is out, you can switch bow things, just like you can for this, because you also could switch shields on the fly, weapons on the fly, bows on the fly, ammo type on the fly, you know, all that kind of thing. Overall, I will use, you know, arrows and such things if they're good, but arrows are not... That's what I'm looking for. They're a very valuable resource, just like with lots of things. They are very valuable, and so you don't want to just be yeeting arrows around all the time. Like, if it's not going to be useful, if you're not sure you can hit the shot, try not to take it, because arrows are not everywhere, and bows are much more common, but honestly, like, it's not that, generally speaking, not that hard to find a bow, comparatively, but arrows are much rarer. And so, generally speaking, you should be careful. These guys, those skeletons, won't die unless you break the head, by the way. Literally, you can use his arm. Very fragile, but it does technically work. What is this worth? It says it's up from 4, so... But it's very brittle, so really, I mean, I wouldn't totally mind dropping this. Although I don't know if you can drop it from this screen. I keep doing that, when you can just do this. Oh, actually, the spear is not very good. Although the distance is kind of useful, so let's go ahead and just drop that. Take this. Yeah, it's actually 5 for that thing. That's interesting. Anyway, some weapons like this, it's really tall, so it's two-handed. So you can't, Is it this one that's alive? Nope. Oh, I think it might be that one right there. it doesn't matter. I can't. It doesn't work yet. So yeah, you'll see. I mean, I don't know. I can just tell you this game's been out forever. So some enemies here. I don't know if it works in the scope or if it's a power. I think it might be an actual power. But anyway, there's at some point. Oh, you see that falling star? That is a. I think those are really good items. Very interesting, but very far away from where we're standing. Anyway, so there's like a scanner ability that you're gonna get later on, and the scanner ability will allow you to scan things, and it will give you. I think it will put it. Where is it? Let me back up. I think it's over here somewhere. Like it's over here, or no? Maybe that. This might be memories. I think this one might be things you scan. I believe. So I think it'll also help you identify it, like help you tell you where stuff is. The really convenient thing is the guardians that are alive, like the turret ones that look dormant, they look normal until you get close, and then they activate. It can be very bad because they might activate when you're on top of one almost, and then suddenly it lights up and it's going to start shooting at you, and you have nowhere to go. So it easily can get you killed. Easily. And there's several areas in this game that will have. There's one area in the overworld over here, and it'll have like a field of guardians. There's like 100 of them. There's a lot of them, and there's a few of them that are alive, and most of them that are not. And you can run through and loot them and get screws and gears and all this really neato ancient loot that you can use. But then there's a few turrets in them. Well, the convenient thing is you can use the scanner, and the scanner will identify the turret ones even if they look dormant. So you can scan a field of them, and it will mark something as alive, and it's very obvious. And so you're like, oh, there's a fake one, and so you can give him a wide berth without activating it. And so the scanner will save your butt. Like I'll show you. I think this one's alive, but we have cover here, so we can make it work. Yep, there we go. So this one is obviously a little cutscene because it's the first time you're seeing it. But that's what it looks like. So, but as you can see, like it's gonna start targeting me. Anyway, and so it's very scary, you know? It's very, very scary, and he can see a long way. It's also scary because he also will target you if you're flying above him, fun fact. So if you're, let's say, if I had to make up a scenario, because this is going to happen to us later, one of the towers has a lot of these turrets standing near him on the ground floor. So it's going to be difficult. Most of these towers, most of those big towers are hard to get to for some reason or another. And one of them, I think it's maybe one of the next ones we do, but it's going to have a lot of those turrets. And even after you unlock, so getting to the tower is already difficult. But once you're up top and you teleport to it, and you're like, oh, I'll teleport to this tower, I'll paraglider down low to get to this treasure chest I'm after, or whatever. Even if you do that, you can jump down there. There's a really high risk of all these turrets are going to still shoot at you. So in midair, the trick is it's a timing based thing, but as they're shooting at you, is to cut your paraglider, because you can cut it and reactivate it in midair. And so you cut it so that you drop suddenly, and then you activate it again. So and you do it a lot. It feels very scary, but overall it's doable. Anyway, and so it's interesting. So it's a little trick later that's going to be very necessary. So we need to get around this corner, but we have to do it quickly because I think one of them lasers will one-shot me. So sorry, wrong button. Sorry, wrong button. Hello, Skeletor. Anyway. That's one of the reasons that the stick is really nice, is because, you know, he can see. It has reach. That's what I'm trying to say. It has reach. Okay, so there's like several weapons right there. I think my stick is actually the worst thing I'm carrying. I also think I hit the wrong button. Hang on. Spear. Yeah. Drop the spear. I'll take the traveler. Oops. Didn't actually mean to do that. I'll take the Traveler's Sword. It'll have a little more durability than the Bokoblin Arm, which still moves, which is funny. So it'll be really quick to... The Bokoblin Arms will do a little bit of okay damage, but they're very quick to break. So I might drop this in favor of the club. I feel like they're more cost-effective. And then for now, we'll continue using them. So I think that's better split. The woodcutter's axe is, even though it's lower damage, it's not as useful for a weapon. Not as useful for that. It's honestly a better use on chopping down trees. And later, for several reasons, we're gonna need firewood. And the best way to obtain firewood is cutting down trees. And if you cut it, so I think it's like 2 chops, it'll drop the tree, and then you chop the giant log one more time, and it turns into firewood. I think that was the numbers. And so if you do that, then you can get some firewood, and later on, we're gonna need lots of firewood. So we can do this trial, but then we need to teleport back to the first trial that we did, because I think there's chests underwater that's near there that I forgot to grab. So, anyway. But later on, we're going to need lots of firewood. So, we'll see. We will see. Alright. Set foot in the shrine. I am Jabaj. Anyway. Alright, the bomb trial. Good. Give me one of the best abilities in the game. Alright. We're about to get the ability for explosives that we can just have unlimited numbers of. It's going to be one of the best tools in the entire game, like, no kidding. Because for low-level enemies, you often can use bombs to blow them up in combat and get the drop on them, so it's often huge. Now, there are actually 2 different kinds of bombs that I'll show you, which, you know, I'll show you in a second, but the bombs regenerate, and so you have unlimited, you know, so yeah, they unlimited. There's no ammo. So the first is the round bomb. It looks like this. There's also no fuse, so you can just hold them forever. It's not gonna blow up in your arms. The other one is the square kind, so it doesn't roll. So the round one will roll. It's affected by slopes and things, and the square one will not. So, sorry, wrong button. Sorry, wrong button. We're struggling. Nope. I'm so stupid. You have to hit the button again to blow it up. It's not rocket science. I don't know, man. Just switching to Switch controls after you're not using Switch controls a long time is very difficult. It's very difficult. Anyway, we're here for this. Hidden chest. Is it Yep, it's a weapon. I knew it. I know. Okay, so we need to. So that was a 10. That's a good weapon. We won't need firewood quite yet, so we'll just. It's not as important. Sick. Anyway. Wow, it was close. Straight up almost blew myself up. Let's just do this, huh? Just have a marginal amount of patience. And you can cycle between the bombs, and like this one's on a cooldown, this one's not. So you can use bombs faster than it looks like. Takes a little more work, but you can still do it. Let's go ahead and do this. Trust me. I'm genius. And by genius, I mean I can do very simple puzzles. Okay. So... Ooh. There's a, something obvious over here. Whoa! Is it a weapon? Is it a shield? Is it a bow? Is it... Ooh, cool. That'll work. Anyway. It's not really what we're here for. We're not here for all that. There's first things first. The first most obvious thing, before we grab that ball over there that we need. So we need to do this. There. And then it'll shoot it onto those. Sick. Okay, so now that's clear. Now we can run over here and grab the ball. Oh! Never mind, I super overthought that. We don't even have to get this over here. The only reason that ball is there is to make it very obvious what you're supposed to do to blow up the rocks and do all that stuff. I mean, is that right? Like, is that all that's there for? Yep. Because I could just grab the shrine, obviously. I don't need anything to activate it. That's funny. I super overthought that. That ball was just there to demonstrate the mechanic to you, because it's one of the intro shrines, so it's not supposed to be difficult. You know, it's not supposed to be difficult because it's one of the intro shrines. So, anyway, I was thinking I would need the ball for something. I feel like later they must use a very similar puzzle, because later on that's later on that's a little bit different. Later on, I feel like you're gonna need to do similar things. So, it's kind of funny that. And that's kind of funny. Anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Okay, so, we obviously can destroy these rocks, but it's not as useful as you would think. Because, you can blow those up, but then there's just a whole bunch of little skeleton guys on the other side that'll spawn, because it's sort of night. The sun's rising now, but at nightfall, skeletons appear on the ground. So, you know, it's a whole thing. Anyway. Don't worry about all that. Alright, we are here for this because... Nice miss, idiot. Anyway, he's gonna stand up and realize that he's like, oh, I'm dead. Take this, and we're here for all of those. I don't have space for any of their stuff. A spear! Anyway. We don't have room for anything, so none of this matters, but that's not it. I need this. Look at all the stuff hidden down here. Anyway, there's like all these chests that are over here that I forgot to grab. Amber. Don't worry about all that. We need to grab this one. I'll show you what that little platform is for in a second. Opal. Da, 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 da. So yeah, the skeleton guys will appear on the ground at night. And there's much bigger, scarier ones, but the little basic lame-o things don't matter a whole lot. Can you... Oops. I guess my question was, can you spin it in midair? And the answer is no. Yeah, mostly no. Although it is trying to level it out for me, because he knows what I'm trying to do. Doesn't matter, we just won't be such an idiot. Alright, don't fall. Not that it would matter, because even if it does fall, I can just grab it. So, not that it matters a whole lot, even if it did. Yay. Anyway, what's down there is very spooky, because of course I will, if I jump down there, I'm pretty sure it just kills me, so. Whoop, overshot. First of many. Haha, you found me! Huh? You're not Hestu. But you can see me? I didn't know your kind could see the children of the forest. Well, if you run into Hestu, please return this to him. Korok seed. Oh, and my friends are hiding in lots of different places, too. Don't be shy about poking your nose into suspicious places. So yeah, there's like hundreds of those things, the little Korok guys. So, those little seeds... There's a dude named Hestu somewhere. And, Hestu, we can give him the seeds in exchange for, increasing inventory. So, you can either choose to increase shields, shields, weapons, or bows. And so, all of which are an option later on. But the other thing we're here for is, I think, according to my little map on to the left of me, there is a chest over here. Or maybe it's in master mode, honestly. Yeah, it's in master mode. So, master mode is, I believe, it's a difficulty setting. Anyway, and we're obviously not playing on master mode. I probably never will do master mode. But it is a difficulty setting, so... Anyway, and it makes things harder, if memory serves, as you would assume. But in Master Mode, there is a lot of additional chests hidden throughout the world, so for extra gear, and to help you survive, I would imagine. That's kind of a balancing act, but those chests are not here in the regular difficulty. So on the map that I'm using shows all of it, obviously. So anyway, Alright, so there's the door, so I think it might be this way to the left. So I think that one is alive. Ah, there you are. It was right over here, I just missed it. Ow! See, that's a good example of hitting yourself with your own stuff, like I was mentioning earlier. There it is. That's so stupid. Expansion Pass bonus, Nintendo Switch shirt. A shirt with the Nintendo Switch logo on it. It's a rather rare find, so wear it with pride. Yeah, no thanks. Anyway, but I just noticed it was right there, and I was like, no, why not, dude? It's literally right there. Aha. Give me this. Sick. For the most part, we're not, like, going for all of this stuff, you know? I'm not clearing the map by any means. I just, you know... Anyway, for the most part, we're still just heading towards my objectives. Alright, I guess we can head towards, what, the red one? Yeah. Probably. Maybe. Could be. Sort of. Maybe. Oh, yeah, it's that one. Because, yeah, I mean, I suppose, because the other one, I think, is the one that's on top of that mountain. Or maybe they both are, to be honest. Yeah, I would relax, brother. You can't see me. I know it. You know it. We're just here for those. Anyway. For the most part, I'm just glancing at the map when, like, for certain things. But for the most part, I'm just playing. I'm not as much worrying about looking for such things. Ooh. Let's see. So, yeah. Because there's the shrine. The issue is it's cold up there. But I actually think this area over here can be very convenient. I think there's like there's some reason why I remember I was here a lot later looking for something. Was it like a special bug or something? Like maybe for a quest later, like this is a really common area to get bugs to spawn in of a certain kind or something. And so I remember running around this area a lot. Or maybe I was here farming for firewood. That might have been it, because later on there's other quests, and I might have been farming for firewood. I was gonna grab some of these apples, but there's a beehive. Although I could do that, and the bees chase the bokoblins away. Anyway, and then I can grab this. All right. Good. Get over here, you nerd. Come here. Alright, I'll wait till you grab your weapon so I can line up my shot. There we go. Oh, sorry. I wasn't ready. Okay, good news. I'm ready now. He sets it on fire first. He's like, hang on. I gotta get this. I gotta set it on fire. Anyway. Alright. That was still worth it. I got some good stuff, but we're actually here for is over here. But yeah, I was probably here farming for firewood, to be honest with you. That's probably why I was here. Anyway, but yeah, there's a cooking thing, which we're gonna need. But what we're here for is somewhere over here. Spicy pepper. Old man's diary. On this desolate plateau, the only pleasure that brings me comfort is cooking. And today I outdid myself. Truly, I created the perfect dish. I call it spicy meat and seafood fry. This recipe not only restores health, but it also keeps me warm, even when traveling in the snowy mountains. With this dish on my side, I no longer have need of that itchy, warm doublé. I do not know how I allowed this to happen, but it seems I forgot to write down a very important recipe. I know it contained raw meat and spicy pepper, however, I simply cannot remember what else it used. My age is catching up to me. Sadly, on this lonely plateau, I have only my own knowledge and memory to rely on, still. If I did find someone who knew the missing ingredient, I would happily reward them with my warm doublé. However, it seems unlikely that such a miraculous wish will ever be fulfilled. Okay, so we're gonna need... not that. That. And then we need to remember his recipe, because we need that warm doublé. And I'll just look up the recipe about what we need to do. I remember there's some kind of fish. I remember that. Okay. So we are back. So what we need is a Hyrule bass is what we need. We should not jump across anything that I'm not ready to lose, because Let's see. Anyway, if you hit him in the head, it's a crit, so, as you probably would have assumed. Okay, sorry, we're back. Let's see. Do I need a bow? Do I? Hang on. Nope, not it. We can do this. Alright, probably not. No, I'm already carrying like 1,000 of those bows, so they don't matter. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get... No, I can... Never mind. I can already tell you we won't. You guys ready, or...? I jumped in a straight line backwards. That was my fault. It's alright, we're about to use this weapon. Okay, hang on. We need to ditch that crappy pot lid, because I am getting much more of a real shield. Sorry, wrong button. Yeah. For some things, there is a, you know, if you kill all the enemies, then you're allowed to loot the chest, right? For some cases, that's how it works. I actually think we could use that, because it's a heart and a half, and that's exactly what I'm missing, so... So I think that is worth it. I was about to say, that's neato, but my inventory is full, so let's see. Can I have any crappy weapons I can get rid of? I mean, I'm carrying a lot of these. Sorry. Sick. Alright, we'll just go ahead and put this back. Anyways, don't worry about all that. I'm just gonna grab this before I do anything else. And I guess we'll do that. It's just another bow. That's just a bow, and life is a nightmare. Bomb arrow. It's kind of cute. Anyway, there was some good loot in there. Something else we can do, though. That can be a little risky to blow that stuff up, because you might send the loot flying, which happens a fair amount, as you saw. But if you can manage to see it before... If you're watching really closely, you can see where it lands. And so, it's... can be worth it. Let's see, see any other little obvious sparkles? Alright, another group of, little dudes are about to get murked. Oh, he's about to get dunked on. Anyway. Don't worry about all that. Oh, look. But yeah, so, the flurry rush, as you saw me do right there, is if you jump at the last second from an enemy, then you activate that flurry rush, and time obviously slows down, and you can just absolutely just annihilate them, like, very, very rapidly. And obviously, it does dunk on your weapons, durability, because you just used your weapon like 1,000 times in rapid succession. So it absolutely annihilates your weapon's durability, but it otherwise can be really good. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I just want to see. Can I ignite that fire by... No. I was about to say, I didn't actually think so. Anyway, but yeah, in some cases it's actually smarter not to do it, because if you don't do it, then, like, if you hit him, like, twice, like back there, I shouldn't have just gone off on him. I don't know, I wasn't thinking, but... Really, you hit him the minimum amount of times. Like, I should have gone, like, bonk, bonk, and then stopped, and then let the whole thing pass. You know? That would have been smarter. Temperature's about to be bad. I'll show you what I mean. See? Temperature's getting dangerously low. Find warmth, you'll take damage. So, there is weather in this game. One of the reasons we need the warm doublet, which is a shirt, is for warm clothes. And so getting up here, you either eat a warm meal and give yourself enough timer to get over there, or you get that. The issue is, of course, is the fish, because to get what we need, we kind of need a fish. Now, I guess we could go over here, and I guess we could go over there. We could try that. Because I don't like using stuff on a timer. So if we could make the recipe, if possible, I wouldn't mind getting the old man the recipe. But we need a Hyrule bass to make it. And so, yeah. So we could work our way towards this pond and see if we can find some fish. But time-wise, we're getting a little close-ish to where we need to be. So this fish thing is probably the last thing we're going to do. And I might honestly should start cutting away to save time. Oh, look at that. I found a chest. Oh, neato. Anyway, we have to watch out for being over here, because there are several very bad things over here. Not those. Those are not the bad things I was talking about. Those are just bats. They don't mean anything. Those little bats are weak. We have to watch it because there's a boss somewhere over here. So it's a big flat area. I think I'll recognize it. I don't think it's the pond. Some bad things, but it does not look deep enough, to be honest. Although this is just the edge, I don't know, maybe in the middle? Having my doubts, though, and the water, to get near the actual water, it's gonna be too cold. Like, honestly, like, maybe it's possible to go to this edge, maybe, and then maybe you can, like, get to some of these edges, maybe, but I don't know, man. I don't know if we're gonna be able to find any kind of thing, because I was wondering about the pond, but this pond does not look deep enough to have fish in it. Hey guys, what up? Oh no! You got me! What am I gonna do? How am I gonna cope? What am I gonna do? I'm coming back. Upside, it's a free way to farm arrows. Absolutely annihilated. Absolutely dunked on, bro. Anyway, where is that? There it is. But so usually the guys that are straight up archers are usually holding arrows, so you can manage to take them out. And then we can look at this pond, but I'm having my doubts this pond is going to be deep enough, you know, to have fish in it. We might just have to make do with warm meals and just... Because another way to get the warm doublet is to finish the... Is to finish the shrines. If you finish the 4 shrines, then then you go back to the old man's cabin, he will give you a warm doublet anyway. So, but if you wanted the warm doublet before you finish the cabin, or before you finish the shrine, so you didn't have to have a timer, well, the other way to do that would be to find what you need earlier, but I don't know where to find a Hyrule bass. Okay, I had one little idea really quick about where we might be able to find what we need. It just occurred to me that there's a deep pond right over here. Alright, sorry, I meant to do like this. There you go. Wrong button. I hit the wrong button and I had no stamina, so it just killed me instantly. Because I had no stamina. Anyway, but I think there's fish in here. Oh, I saw one right there. Well, I'm too late now, but... Did I get one? Oh, I did! I got 2! Are these the right fish? Yes! We did it! I just remembered that this little pond was here next to the Temple of Time. Well, that's freaking hype. Now I gotta look up that recipe again. Okay, we are back. So I have all of our ingredients. We needed raw meat, and I forgot about that. So We needed raw meat, so I had to go kill a boar, but I did get some. So how you make things in this game, so there is cooking in this game to make really good meals. And you hold whatever objects you need up to 5. So in this case, we're going to grab our raw meat, we're going to grab 1 pepper, and then our high-rolled bass. And then you throw them in the pot. There you go. Spicy meat and seafood fry. There you go. Anyway, but now we should be able to find the old man, which earlier I saw him. He was over here, but now I'm not seeing him. So maybe he's inside his cabin. Oh, he is. Hey, fancy that. So we meet again. What are you doing? Just about to go down and cut a few trees over there. We'll have to talk later. What do you mean talk later? Okay, here we are. So I think now we might be able to give it to him. What are you doing? Body and mind isn't what it used to be. Recovering from a bout of hard work takes a while. If you're hungry, I have an empty pot you can use to make a meal. I cooked something. Wait, is that? That looks just like my signature perfect dish. Spicy meat and seafood fry. But how did you... Well, I suppose that is not important. Can I trouble you to share the recipe? Of course, high-rolled bass. How could I have forgotten? Well done. Now, please allow me to reward your culinary efforts with this warm doublé. Sick. It gives me cold resist. With that, you should be able to resist the bite of colder elements. As for me, I know a great spicy meat and seafood fry recipe, so I can do without that warm doublé. Sick. All right, now we can put that on. It gives me cold resist. As you can see on my little cold and hot meter, the cold now dropped a bit, so now I can go up there without taking cold damage. And I don't have to do something that's that I have to constantly refresh like a meal, you know what I mean? Anyway, so there you go, kids. So so you had to give it to him, but at a very certain time. So that's what happened with that. I can show you something else though. I don't know if that might be too many, but let's give it a shot. So there's a lot of meals. You know, many things to cook. Just a whole bunch of apples. Make some simmered fruit. We probably should make some smaller ones while my health is so small. You know, while my health is so small, we probably should make some smaller things. Yeah, see, just like something kind of some littler things. Honestly, 2 at a time would be fine for a while. But yeah, there we go. That is what we needed. So we will definitely need to end the episode. But I really wanted to get this warm doublé because it'd be so nice to have for. It would be so nice to have for exploring the mountain, you know, because now we can walk over there and don't have to worry about taking damage and all that stuff. Also, we should eat one of these seared steaks because I'm almost a heart and a half down. So. Other than that, the only other meal that's often is I think I do like one of these and then you throw in some fruit, I think. I think it's like a mix of some kind that seems to be pretty generous on the hearts. Yeah, see, I only put 1 and 1 and it gave me 3 hearts. The steamed fruit, if you throw in some high-roll herb, is like is pretty good. Let's throw in a mushroom too, just for fun. Let's do it, man. Yeah, steamed mushrooms gives you an extra heart there. Anyway, what about one of these and one of these? Huh? Probably is gonna be the same, but yeah, fruit and mushroom mix. That's another very common one. Is you just because you get mushrooms and especially the mushrooms are very, very common. So something you can do with those is not bad. Yeah, plus my hearts are so low that having some kind of low level stuff seems really wise, you know. That very first one was a lot because I'm used to having, you know, stuff like that. Let's because I'm used to having more hearts, so I'm used to needing like a whole bunch for it to be worth it. But while my hearts are so low, meat skewer, ooh, 4 hearts. Those meat skewers are worth a lot. For now, we can maybe do 1 at a time. So I'll cook this last drumstick, and then we will. There we go, just a little meat skewer. That'll work. This'll work for now. Sick. Nice. All right, that'll work. Anyway, but yeah, and when we come back, that'll be where we call this one. And when we come back, now that we have our little warm double, now we can just run through this doorway that was over here somewhere. And then we can run through there and then run to that, probably the red pin, but I imagine in the next episode we'll be able to hit both of those shrines, so yeah, I think that is very, very likely. But yeah, there we go. But yeah, there you go. There's part 1 of Breath of the Wild in the books. And I would get comfortable because let me tell you, this is a long game and I am not the kind of guy that blows through things. So this will be a long playthrough. I felt like we were doing Cyberpunk a very long time, and so I felt like we were doing that quite a while. And I suspect this will be probably longer. I mean, I don't know that. It might not be like whatever the Cyberpunk was, like 35, 36 parts, whatever it was. I don't know how long this is going to take, because this one, unlike with other games, I feel like this one is another one of those situations where it depends greatly on what you choose to do, you know? Which really is true for most open world games, but there's some open world games that you have to do certain things, you know, and what you need to do is a lot, right? You can't make it go faster. But other games you can make the playthrough take a crazy amount of hours or much less. It depends on how much side stuff you're willing to do. Now, we're not going to do all of the side things, and we're not going to do every single quest, because there's some quests that are just annoying and you just don't need to deal with. But you know, we're just gonna see what happens. We're just gonna play it loose and see what happens and jump into it. So overall, though, very excited. So anyway, that is gonna call for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later. Oh, did I just collateral that guy? Yeet. There, you go first. He's like, I think it's clear, man. You're good. As the great Bob Ross would say, what a happy accident. Later, idiots. I could hear Darth Vader in my head. I have you now. No, walk it off, bro. You're okay. It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up. That was so perfect.